Hello, people of the internet! Welcome to my new I don't know what it will be like yet, but we'll see, little guitar talk thing. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. I would like to publish a short little video, not too long, just a short little video, talking about guitar-related stuff. Little tips of how to understand your instrument, how to treat your instrument, little exercises, all kinds of like guitar things. I own a music school. Most of you know that. And by the way, currently we're looking for a piano teacher and a vocal teacher. I know I could do the vocals, but I don't have any capacities. So, if you're a piano teacher, you wouldn't watch this channel. Anyway, if you know somebody, please send them to me. I am looking for a piano and a vocal coach in my music school. Thank you. So I've been teaching pretty much since I was 12. I gave my first guitar lesson to a neighbor at the age of 12. And by now I would say that I have a good experience in teaching and I love it. I love my kids, I love my grown-ups, I love everybody who's coming to take lessons with me. Most of them. Here's the thing with teaching. Sometimes I would say certain things and they are so basic knowledge and naturally for me that I don't even think about them anymore when I do them while playing, alternate picking or small things. And I realized that for some of my students that is a big deal because nobody told them. And for this little YouTube thing, I would like to do and focus exactly on that. There's nothing worse than a bad teacher. And I've seen a lot of teachers that go like, well, do this. And then the student goes like, why do I have to do this? And the teacher says, just do it. Shit never worked with me, man. I was in the early years of like mid-school and in my music lessons, I remember, I'm not gonna name the teacher, but I had a teacher for music classes and it was about those little hashtags and the little bees and you know that kind of stuff, where to position them, where to put them. And I didn't understand because I didn't see those kind of signs as like a note position. So I was like, why are they randomly sitting there somewhere? And my teacher answered, just learn it. That was the only time in my entire life to have a very, very bad music test grade. Because of course I was like, you don't want to explain it to me? F that. So I just wrote something, like it looked terrible and it didn't make sense at all. Just because it wasn't explained to me in a proper way. If there's something that I want my students to understand is that they can ask me questions that haven't been answered by their regular mid-school, high school music teacher, and I will answer them. Or I will explain it in a way that they will understand it. So I thought about this whole thing and let's make something happen on Sundays where I just literally talk basic knowledge. There is enough other channels where you can learn the shred thing, where you get all these like, that's not me. I don't play like that. I focus on what I do well and what I like to do instead of trying to like master all these different kinds of, niches. Yeah, we can talk, Cookie, exactly. And I'm talking. Can you please zip the beak? So let's start with this first one. I would like to talk about the topic of changing strings. I know, basic, stupid. And I'm not saying that my way is the only correct way to do it, but what I do say is I've learned through my experience and over the years what to do and what works and what doesn't. Cookie, can you please sip the beak? I have a lot of guitars here. I have my trustworthy Blue Floral Patent Jam, which is still one of my favorite guitars. But I just did change strings on her, so she's out. Then we have my trustworthy wife, the Pia, which is another one of my favorite guitars. I love her to the moon and back, but also we changed guitar strings right before our wedding, so no. So today I would like to go with actually this one. This is a super affordable white RG450. And I did play it live on tour, and I think the most fascinating and best thing about this guitar is, some of you know it already, it was signed by Mr. Sir Eddie Van Halen. Eddie, rest in peace. I know you're watching us. I've got Fishman guitar pickups here. That's pretty much it. I got like a push-pull thing for the switch in the bridge pickup. And it's got a Floyd. Right? And we're gonna start changing strings on this one, and I would like to show you how to change... No, wrong. I would like to show you how I change strings and what I pay attention to, okay? Here we go. All right, let's get going. What do you need to change guitar strings? First of all, you need guitar strings, right? I have a bunch of those here. I usually work with D'Addario. I only found the wrong sets, to be honest. Most of my guitar string sets are at my music school. So the only complete set that I found was Elixir strings. So I'm gonna use those today. When you order a guitar and the guitar is being delivered to your home, that's what you get, 9 to 42. That's what I'm gonna use today. All my guitars are set to 9 to 46 though. So I might have to adjust the tremolo afterwards because the tension change of the strings might change your tremolo as well. You need one of these. One of these. See that? But I like to carry around one of those multi-tools. They are just super, super easy to put in your pocket, and they have all the different kind of keys you need. And that's why I like them. They come in all kinds of colors, red or black or whatever. Then you need a pair of pliers to cut the strings. Today, I would like to change strings on a Floyd guitar, which is a whole different ball game than changing strings on a hip shot, like with a fixed bridge guitar. Therefore, it's helpful to have one of these. Oh, and then you're gonna need a lobster, okay? So if you have all of these devices ready, we're ready to change strings right now. The first thing you have to understand when it comes to changing strings on a floating Floyd guitar is that, I know this is the wrong guitar, but it's easy to explain because, look, Steve had the best invention ever. Like, this magnetic thing is just like fantastic. Your strings have a tension. Like on the guitar, they pull here, cookie! And at the same time, those springs on the back, they pull that direction. So this Floyd is in like an equilibrium, right? Do never ever take off all the strings at the same time on a Floyd guitar because the Floyd block is just gonna fall off the guitar. Don't do that. It's not good and healthy. Maybe other people think it's totally okay. I don't think it's okay. So, and again, this whole video is just me explaining my way of changing strings, okay? And then we would start by unscrewing the little nut lock thingies. And here's the thing. I don't know how much it really matters, but I truly believe like the impact of a small E string is different to this little tiny square piece of metal than the impact of like a fat E string. So when you replace them, try to make sure to remember the position of where you have those and put them in front of you exactly the way that they are located on your guitar neck. So you put them exactly back from where they came off originally. Now that way this is unlocked and I can literally unscrew the whole thing. If you have one of these devices, that's amazing. I don't right now because my my device is at my music school. I got rid of that whole thing and I can pull out the string easily. Then I would want to be responsible and put this into like a little roll and then just like throw it away. Ha! And now I'm gonna get the same string, just fresh and new. People like to discuss this. I like to put the ball end to the top of my guitar, here. When you have the ball end on top of your guitar and you put your guitar into like a soft gig bag, it won't harm the gig bag. If you have like a sharp end that's cut off, it's gonna there I'm saying it. It's gonna your guitar bag. So I'm putting my string through this whole thing. I also want to make sure that the hole of where my guitar string is going to go through on top where the mechanic is straight to the neck. So that leaves like a straight line. If I put the string through here, you can see it right now. And now it just like attaches. I just need to go to the end of the tuners, like up to here. I should maybe start recording some B-roll where you can see close-ups of. I'll learn. Because if you have too much string, you're gonna have too much guitar string on top of your tuner. Which is not terrible, but it's just like, yeah, you don't need it. Cut it off right here. Bye. You wanna push the string down. Because the thing is, like, this little block is gonna push. And if it pushes, it might change the position. Also, you want to make sure that this string is not, it doesn't have a drill, right? If your string looks like this, you might want to consider like just stretching it a little bit more so it's more like straight. Because as soon as you have a drill inside of the string, it's going to affect how long it's going to last. So you want to make sure it's straight. Then push it into the little position. And while you screw it tight, you just push it down so it's not being squeezed out. So this is the amount of string that I would attach to a guitar. Now it's tightened here. And now all I have to do is tighten it. And I wish I had one of those devices, but I don't. It shouldn't be more than 1.5 up to 2 rounds of string on it. Oh, hey, here's another question, by the way. Why do some guitar players have a piece of tape here? The reason why we put this piece of tape here is when you use the whammy bar, and you go like this, and the strings become completely loose, and then they start tightening up again, they sometimes get strangled underneath one of those pickup edges. And just to prevent the string from doing that, you would put a piece of tape there, so it's like sliding up, like instead of being stuck there, right? So that's why a lot of guitars, you can see, have this little piece of tape underneath one or two or all of those pickups. That's totally the reason why. So let's move on and finish the others, just like the one we did right now. I wish I had one of these. Okay, I changed all of the strings. Now it's completely out of tune. I'll adjust the tuning now. I wasn't trying to win like a speed game. All right, let's get this in tune. Great. Okay, here's what happened. So I changed my strings tension from 9 to 46 to 9 to 42, which means lighter strings, less tension here, but still the springs on the back are still pulling the same way. That's why with this, my Floyd is starting to drown a little bit. It's like sinking. And that causes that the guitar strings action is gonna be flat, like so flat that it's actually like hitting the fretboard. I want to adjust that. So I want my Floyd to be more like this again, like more a little bit up here. So I have to adjust the springs in the back and make the tension equal again. Like this needs to equal this. It might take a while, but see, this is not a regular standard backplate because your backplate is probably not attached with a cable. But this one is actually like a rechargeable battery of my Fishman pickups. It says Fishman here. So that's why there is a cable. And so here's the thing. The springs have a certain tension. If you want to higher the tension of the springs or lower it, these are the two screws you have to adjust, right? If it goes lower, it's less tension. If it goes higher, it's more tension. So before I screw this thing back on, I would now go back to tuning my guitar once more. Because now it's again completely out of tune. Let's check. Cookie, the hell are you doing? I take a look at my tremolo. It's still a little flat. It's still sinking a little bit into my guitar, and I don't want that. So I lose the tension of the springs in the back a little bit more. And you know, a lot of people say, oh my god, it's such a headache to change strings on a Floyd guitar. I'm sorry, I disagree. It's just a matter of how well you are familiar with how to do that, and that's it. It's out of tune again. Let me tune it again. Okay, this was too much because, as you can see, my tremolo tends to like really come out of the guitar right now. That's not where you want it, right? So I want my guitar tremolo quite parallel to the body. So that was too much, changing the screws in the back. All right, so hiring the tension again, screwing the screws back in now, and tuning again. Okay, stretching. Stretching with Jen. Usually before I make those tight, you should stretch the string. I know for sure that with those guitar strings I don't have to, but if you use other strings, you might want to stretch the guitar string. This is how you do it. Take one string, pull it out, push the top of your thumb on top of it, and then you're gonna pull here with those fingers and push down with the thumb. And you repeat that like at somewhere around the 12th fret. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do that around the 3rd fret. You're gonna do that around the end of the neck. And then, this is a bad example because you don't really have to do that with Elixir strings. But if you use a different brand of strings, you do that and you're gonna hear that your string is gonna be a bit. So if it's like that, retune again here before you lock these, retune and repeat the same thing. Mostly like up to 3 times. Just pull, push, and do that a couple of times just to stretch the strings. And then normally it would be like, and then you go. I make sure that these fine tuners are all equal. Like I want them all in a very equal position. And then you gotta tune again. And of course you use a tuner when you do that. I have an engraved tuner in my head. Okay. Some people say before you tighten those, you shall tune your guitar a little bit too low in terms of like not a half step or a whole step, just a little bit too low. I don't know about that. I just... Yeah, cookie look, exactly. Now tightening those things. Ugh! Ah, God. Hey, here to episode number 1. Let's see what I come up with next Sunday. Y'all take care. Have a beautiful week. Mwah, I love you. Stay safe and sane, happy and healthy.